Welcome to Living in Houston, the real deal. We've got some questions here for you, really quite a doozy of questions here. We get them all the time, don't we, Taco?
Yeah, we've kind of put together a list here of frequently asked questions that those that are relocating here that they have. Kind of their top 9 is kind of what we compiled. We help hundreds of families relocate here as a team every year.
Yeah, and so if you're considering a move or even just thinking about it, I mean, first off, you could reach out to us. We got the number on the screen there. We'd love to connect, see if Houston's a good fit. But you should tune into this video because we're gonna go through all these questions from probably like top to bottom in terms of greatest of importance 100%. Or most frequently asked down to the bottom. So
and some myth busting that we're gonna do today as
well.
Oh
yeah, so if you have some common maybe myths or misconceptions, we're gonna either bust it or affirm it. So stick around, we've got 9 here to go through and we can't wait to jump in.
Yep. All right, so question 1, and I think this is kind of the most common question, especially if you watch the news. So Mark, does Houston, all of Houston really flood?
The answer is yes and no. So yeah, I think this is a common one we can myth bust, so to speak, right? Basically, we're strategic about it. So if you are interested in moving here and let's say you want to, there's a specific area, right? We've got different suburbs all around Houston. Houston's massive, guys. So I can't point on one area on the map and say, hey, this area is never flooded ever. But there are areas more prone to it and there's ways for us to do our due diligence. And so real quickly, what I'll say on the resale side is every resale home has a history.
Correct.
Right? So sellers have those sellers disclosures, and part of that questionnaire, one of the most important page, I think it's 5. Yeah. Page 5 on the seller's disclosure. It's a 6 to 7 page document. There's a series of boxes where they check whether they're disclosing whether the house is flooded or not.
And whether it currently carries flood insurance.
Right. And so you'll find a lot of people carry flood insurance regardless, and that's kind of what I recommend. You know, I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. So even when you're not in a flood zone and your loan doesn't require you to carry it, I would still have it. Especially when you're in non-flood zone areas, it's relatively affordable. There's non-FEMA backed plans and backed plans like that. So, you know, that's a rabbit hole we get into on a phone call. But at the end of the day, we do our due diligence. We look for the flood zone. We know from experience what areas are known or prone or have history of it. Right. And so we can kind of avoid that. But I mean, tacos, sometimes it's literally one side of the street is a 2-foot difference in elevation. And so unfortunately, maybe that side flooded in Harvey or one of those major flood storms and the other side didn't.
Yeah, I think a great example would be, does the Woodlands flood? Overall, a higher percentage? No.
Yeah, maybe 90% of it has it, but
is there a section? Yeah. So it's but again, us being lifelong Houstonians, right? We have a good indicator of where does it flood, where does it not flood. But does all of Houston flood? Is everywhere a flood zone to where you have to worry about it?
Not necessarily. Right. Yeah, no. I think there's definitely ways to mitigate it. And the last thing I'll touch on is new construction.
Yeah.
There's no flood history, obviously, it's a new home, but we're doing things differently than we used to, 10, 15, 20 years ago when we built and developed neighborhoods and homes. And so we've kind of, let's just say, learned from our mistakes. And so they build the home pads up pretty high. They have very adequate drainage. They do these nice retention ponds, which are not only scenic with fountains and walking paths around it, but they're purposeful. And so everything's very strategically done and engineered, and that really lowers that risk overall. And I would say, lastly, if you just really want to have the lowest risk possible, I would say the more north you go, the higher in elevation you are and the further you are from the ocean. So, and just inherently lowers the risk.
100%.
All right, question number 2, Taco, I'm gonna let you answer this one. Which side of Houston should I live on?
That's going to be dependent on a number of factors, right? First thing that comes to mind is lately I've been helping a lot of clients that are looking for acreage. Best place to really look for acreage is going to be your North Houston side of town, your north of Conroe, your Willis, Montgomery, Magnolia area, even New Waverly.
And that's not to say there's not acreage on the south side,
correct.
But why would you say there's more on the north side?
There's more just because you have more developers and more neighborhoods that are being working specifically towards that. So, now if you're looking for acreage, that's where I would choose. If you're looking more for that, I'm trying to go fishing, salt water every single week.
You want to be at the beach?
want to be at the beach, then I'd live south. So you got
Right.
places like League City, Seabrook, LaPorte,
Clear
Frenchwood,
Lake.
Clear Lake, all great areas.
Yeah, put you in really close proximity to Galveston.
100%.
So it's not like a weekend trip like it would be for us, where it's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive.
Correct.
We're on the north side.
100%.
You're like anywhere from 20 to half an hour away.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm in the energy corridor and that's where I, have to commute to work, then I'd probably be on the west side.
Yep,
And I'd
so
live
you
in
got
Fulshire, Richmond, Katy, even Sugarland.
Energy corridor.
Yeah, the energy corridor in and of itself
Right.
is where I would live. If I'm a pilot, then you'd be probably on the north side. Pilot for flying out of IAH. We have 2 airports here. We have
Yes.
one that's north, it's Bush, and then you have the one south, which is Hobby. We work with a lot of United specifically clients.
Right. And so George International Airport, George Bush Airport, that's United Hub.
Correct.
So you have way more airlines there, and then I think, what is it, Southwest and
Yeah, Southwest
like Frontier or something.
yeah,
Some of the
it's,
smaller
out of
ones
Hobby.
do Hobby, which is on the southeast side of town.
Correct. And then if it's, hey, I'm a family and I'm looking for a neighborhood and an area that is just family friendly,
Good schools.
good schools, all that, I'd probably start, and you'll see it most of the time if you're searching it, north side, I do the Woodlands, south side, I do Sugarland.
Yeah.
Those could probably be your best bets to start, and then sprinkle in neighborhoods and master plan communities all around town, north, south, east, and west.
Well, and I would say, leaning into that school part, we get a lot of clients that's like their number one focus,
Correct.
right? And so when you start looking at your number one rated schools, then you get like Katy, Cypress, or Cyfair, Woodlands or Conroe ISD. And so then it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. You can kind of dig into those schools, but that might determine where you land.
Right. And for all my golfers out there, because I've had a tremendous amount of clients that are coming here solely for the golf.
Yeah.
It's going to be the north side. So it's going to be places like the Woodlands, Magnolia. You have Blue Jack golf course. The Tiger Woods' golf course out there in
that's a nice
Magnolia.
one. And again, not to say there's no golf on the south side, but some of the more renowned golf.
Yeah, renowned golf. And probably I would say the north side, kind of a per capita.
There's more.
There's way more.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Woodlands itself, they have a handful of golf courses. Then you have multiple golf course communities around Lake Conroe as well. And then you have Blue Jack and a number of others. So that's what I would choose.
Yeah, so I guess to wrap that up, what side should you live on? It really depends on your needs and what you're looking for, but that's what we're here for. We're going to ask the right questions, and that's going to help us determine where to place you or where to recommend.
All right, Mark, question number 3. Should I buy new construction or should I go resale?
Yeah, again, that's a loaded question. There's pros and cons to both, but the way I always phrase it is if you want the best bang for your buck, right? The best use of your money. If you want your money to go further, you go resale. You can inherit things like oversized lots, pools, upgrades throughout the home that maybe just didn't give the resale value the uptick that they spent in it, and so you're inheriting like a lot of benefits that way. Also, if you want that maturity in a neighborhood, or you don't want the cookie cutter look like you get on new construction, you want something a little more unique. We built homes differently back in the day.
100%.
So when you drive through these homes that were developed in the 70s and 80s, it's like very unique. Every home is different. The floor plans are different. And so that would be like, if you want your money to go further and you want the best bang for your buck and you want something a little more unique, I would say go resale.
And real quick with resale, that's where you'll get your pool. It
Exactly.
It is hot here.
We
in,
get a lot of clients that are like, I gotta have a pool.
Yeah,
Well,
if I'm gonna move to Houston, gotta have a pool, and so resale is really the only option. And a lot of times, you're getting still a good deal because that seller is kind of eating the cost of the pool.
right. It'll cost you maybe these days 120 grand to put a pool in. Back in the day, years back, you could get a nice pool for half that.
Correct.
So, a lot of times they're doing that and they're not upticking the price by how much they put in the pool, especially if it was done 10, 15, 20 years ago. So you're inheriting something nice, and to your point, if you want a pool, we got to lean on resale because new construction, going into that, the only way to really get a pool is if you go complete custom, because then they can commission a pool builder, or maybe they have one that they work with, and so there's just a little bit more flexibility there. But if we go production, new construction just won't have that capability or availability or opportunity. So on the flip side of the coin, I always say, if you want new construction or you want a good deal, that's when you want to go new construction, because these guys are in this market handing out insane incentives.
Yeah.
So if the interest rate is an issue for you for affordability, you might want to go new construction because they're buying that down and they have the margin to just hand that to you for free.
Yeah. If you have some money saved, but you would like a little bit more to go towards closing costs.
Yep, they'll cover you. You could find the right builder that'll cover your closing costs. If you want to go minimum down, as little out of pocket as possible, probably want to go the new construction route 100%. For that reason. So yeah, I would say also, if you want more of that modern look, if you want more of that open concept, tall ceilings, tons of natural light, if you want that kind of like that fresh car smell, right? Like when you buy a new car, there's a difference between a resale car and a brand new one. And so a lot of people want that like fresh, brand new, never lived in feel and smell and look. And so obviously you got to go new construction for that.
And lastly, I would say sometimes new construction is for those people that just want peace of mind.
Yeah, warranties. Good point. So with resale, you could do like a home warranty. They're very limited, and you got to be careful because they're just like any other insurance. They try to weasel out of any claim. And the older the home, typically the less it's covered.
Correct.
But new construction, you're going to get your one year bumper to bumper typically. Some will even do a 2-year craftsmanship. Yeah. So basically anything other than cosmetic and wear and tear, they'll cover for the first year. 2-year mechanical and 10-year structural. So to your point, you get amazing peace of mind and more of that turnkey experience. Because if you're busy and you just want to plug and play and start, living your life and going to work and not worrying about maintaining a home that's falling apart, because that's basically what a resale is always doing, is something always around the corner that needs to be fixed, then new construction would be the way to go for 100%. Sure. Ooh, I got a hot one here for you, Taco. Get this all the time. This should have been number 2.
Yeah.
What are the property taxes, and more specifically, mud taxes? And then can you find a neighborhood with like no HOA fees, or what do those HOA fees look like?
So I'll go to the easiest.
It's a loaded question there.
It is a loaded question. HOAs, you can find neighborhoods without an HOA. You also got to understand the cost that comes with not having an HOA. When you don't have an HOA, you have nobody basically regulating that the neighborhood is clean and the neighborhood is just upkept.
So I could have a dumpster fire or
100%.
Start a Dollar General next to you and nobody cares.
And you have some of these acreage communities to where it's unrestricted, no HOAs, but now you're mad because your neighbor has 15 abandoned cars that are just stacked up.
Or a mobile home versus your nice custom built home. That's going to devalue your property.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's when it comes to HOA. And HOA typically covers in a normal neighborhood, like in a neighborhood that has one. It's going to cover your maintenance, the common areas,
amenities.
It has amenities, kind of everything that comes with that. So again, the more amenities you have, typically the higher the HOA. And then you do have some neighborhoods out there that have an HOA, like Audubon, and I believe Ellison, that covers the common areas and everything that we mentioned, and the front yard, like Mark just said.
Well, so HOAs kind of come in a handful of shapes and sizes, I would say.
Correct.
But if we're talking about a master plan community, which is like a lot of amenities, it's just loaded up, which is what a lot of people are attracted to in a lot of the neighborhoods we feature. Right. Very family friendly. They're also great for anyone retiring. Those are going to be on the higher side, but they're typically on an annual basis.
Correct.
Anywhere from $500, $600, $700 on the super low end to $1,200, $1,500 on the higher end.
The biggest that I've ever seen.
Which is the 2 overlaying ones.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you're getting into a condominium or something, it's going to be that monthly, but it's covering a lot of stuff as well. So.
Now, the first part of that, property taxes. Property taxes is...
Why are they so high?
Well, they're so high. It's that in and of itself is a very loaded question. I'll let you touch on the mud.
We get it all the time.
Yeah, well, I'll let you touch on the mud part, right?
Okay.
Of it, but it's the property taxes are a makeup of school taxes,
firefighter
police, taxes,
local school and college, city, county.
Correct. And if you would love to learn, we can, reach out to us. We can sit down and give you the breakdown of what each tax is.
There's quite a rabbit hole we could go down on.
Yeah, but I think a common thing, just for the general term, we help people relocate from all across the country. And one of the things that shocks people the most, yes, our property taxes are typically high, and Mark's going to get into one of the main reasons why. But the second thing that catches people off guard is property taxes are not county-wide. So here in Montgomery County, for instance, Grand Central Park, the neighborhood, is going to have a completely different tax rate than Artavia. That's going to have a different tax rate than the Woodlands Hills. That's going to have a different tax rate than the neighborhood River Plantation that's been around for years. That's right across the street from Grand Central Park. They're completely different, and that's one of the biggest things that kind of catches clients off guard because they see one property tax in one neighborhood in Conroe, and they think that that's all of Conroe. It's not.
Yeah, it can, in some cases, when a neighborhood's so vast or large, like my neighborhood, there's two.
Yeah.
There's two different tax rates, and getting into the MUD, that's the reason. So a MUD stands for the Municipality Utility District. And essentially, any new construction or development area typically carries a MUD.
Right.
And so they're bonds, and we tax assess it. So let's say your tax rate's 2.5% for the neighborhood, and then you have a new MUD because it's a brand new neighborhood.
Right.
This MUD is a developmental bond that pays back the developers for the infrastructure of the community. So things like water and sewage, water treatment, sewage, even street lights, streets. I mean, it covers and encompasses really the development of that area as we push outward into the city, into the suburbs. The infrastructure wasn't there.
Correct.
So we're footed the bill, unfortunately. The benefit or the cool thing about it is it is a bond. So they're usually 20, 30-year bonds, and they go down over time. So let's say it could push your 2.5% rate to 3.2% when it's all put together. But a large percentage of that is the MUD, and so that MUD will go down over time, and you'll see your rate go from 3.2% down a little bit until it's gone. And so what we typically see on older communities is either there's no MUD,
Correct.
So there are areas without a MUD. If you're really, we get a lot of clients that are price conscious on that tax because they come from an area with low taxes property-wise. However, what I will say, and the spiel I'll give always is we don't have state income tax. So this is how we pay for our local stuff, right?
Things have to get paid for somehow.
Yeah, so if you're coming from an area like California, arguably, I think you're gonna save a lot of money, especially if you're strategic about it, because like I said, you could choose areas that have older homes, older communities. If you're leaning that resale route, we typically see rates as low as 2%. Sometimes, if we go acreage, where there is no MUD and they're on septic.
I was looking at one the other day, 1.5.
1.5%. So you can get $1 million house and you're getting taxed the same as a $500,000 house
100%.
in a neighborhood because of that tax rate. So there are ways to be strategic about it, long story short. But yeah, we carry larger taxes, property taxes, because as of now, that's how we pay for our local stuff. So, you do get to avoid state income tax, which is the benefit. And again, if you're coming from the west side or maybe the northeast side, I think inherently all the taxes you pay compound. Correct. And we have so much less here.
Yeah.
So, you're going to pay higher on property tax, but if you could get over that hump and see all the other cost of living factors that'll save you money, I think you'll find that the bill overall is lower for you on the tax line.
But if you are a 100% disabled veteran,
Oh, good point.
Texas loves its veterans.
I think we're one of
None of what
three
we
states
just said
that does this.
None of what we just said matters except the HOA.
Yep.
So, you 100% disabled veterans, if you have that, metric, then you have no property taxes.
Zero property taxes, zero MUD. So your affordability just went way up. With that said, I think there's homestead exemptions and ways to get discounts, but as a veteran, if you're 60% disabled, the discounts start.
Yeah.
But once you get to 100%, it's zero.
Yeah. So all you disabled veterans out there that you're looking to be able to extend and stretch your money, Houston and Texas is.
Texas will take care of you. So come on out. We'd love to help you out.
All right, Mark.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Shoot.
How bad is Houston traffic really?
So I think it's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Because if you're coming from some of these other major metropolitan areas, it's not that bad. In fact, it's pretty predictable. As a realtor, I love to pick and choose my times when I drive.
Right.
So all that to say, typically there's a rush hour in the morning and in the evening. And it's other than that, it's pretty clear. I can get from one side to Houston to the next with these toll roads and these highway systems we have flying 80 miles per hour. Relatively quick. I mean, it is sheer distance, but I can get from one place to the other pretty quickly at the right times of day. I'd say maybe anywhere from 9:30, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., 3:30, maybe pushing 4 in some areas. You're pretty good. Weekends,
Yeah, weekends.
pretty good.
Yeah, and even summer times, to where I know other clients that
There's
are coming.
no school traffic.
Yeah, there's no school traffic,
Yeah.
but I know other places, like clients that live in California and other places, like you said.
It never stops.
Yeah, it never stops. And you have traffic at 8 p.m. here. I mean,
You
unless
have it
there's a
at
wreck.
midnight, bro. My wife is from California.
Yeah.
When we go to visit her family in LA, there's traffic at midnight, 1 o'clock. I'm like,
No,
what is
here-
everybody doing
Right.
this late at night?
Yeah, so like Mark was saying, as long as you can set proper expectations of like getting your mind right, like, okay, I'm going to deal with it rush hour in the morning, truly deal with it rush hour in the evening. After that, pretty smooth sailing.
But
Okay.
here's the caveat: inclement weather,
Correct.
a wreck,
Yeah.
and construction.
100%. Yeah.
There's always construction because we're growing. We're always trying. Like by the time I always say this, by the time they get the road widened, it's like it took 5 years. And then it needs to be done again.
Yeah.
We've already outgrown it.
Yeah.
But with that said, there could be lane closures and things of that nature that slow things down. Maybe they decide to work on something over the weekend, whatever. It could be annoying and they'll shut a lane down. Wrecks, people just don't know how to drive, unfortunately. Weather, all those types of things can slow it down.
But overall, is it that bad?
I would say no. It's predictable, especially when you get into these suburbs and you can stay in your bubble.
Yeah.
There's no need to go great distances when it comes to shopping. Most of these neighborhoods that we talk about have shopping either connected or within 5-10 minutes.
Right.
So it's easy, even with traffic, to get kind of where you need to go.
Perfect.
All right, Taco, number 6.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
All right. So what's one mistake almost every relocation buyer makes?
I would say the number one mistake that they make is they reach out with probably some homes that they've already seen, that they've already fallen in love with, and they don't even know the area.
So they lead with the house.
Yeah, lead with the house. Where Houston's kind of the Houston area as a whole is one of those cities that I would say you have to find the area first. Then within that, it gets real easy to be able to find the particular home for you. But I'll use the Woodlands even for as example. All the different villages in the Woodlands are not the same, and so
Different ages.
Yeah, different ages, different aesthetics, different vibes, right? So even being in the Woodlands, depending on what village you want to be in, will make a difference. So that's why I would say let's choose the area first, focus on the area, and that's why some of these questions when we ask are very important. With a simple question of, do you want trees?
Yeah.
When you see yourself, is greenery important? And if you say yes to that question, that almost eliminates like 2/3, if not half of Houston.
Correct. And I mean, it really kind of goes back to number 2, which side of Houston should I live on? That's the
Correct.
question you really need to be leading with.
Correct.
Because chances are going to find the house in your price point and checks all the boxes that you like in that area, whether it be new construction or resale.
Right.
So fortunately, I lead my clients with this, but it is a common mistake that clients want to lead with.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like for example, you said the Woodlands, they think they want to live in the Woodlands, and then when we get out, like that's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
They want the area, but then we get into the home, and they're like,
they're like,
that's
"No, I
not
don't
what I
want
want.
this."
They're old, they're compartmental, they need a lot of work,
Correct.
they're higher priced. So yeah, all that to say, I think people lead with that very specific criteria of a home, and they don't focus on the lifestyle around
Correct.
that house.
Because the lifestyle is very important.
Yeah.
So I get asked this question because sometimes it can be overwhelming, and clients are like, they hit me with this question: what area would you choose?
Yeah, they want to know authentically, but we have biasness.
Yeah,
Because we've lived here our whole lives.
100%.
All right, so
But
let's.
Mark, what area would you choose?
The area I live in, right? So if you look at a map, we'll have the guys throw it up on there. I'm in Willis, and it's the 2 objections I get over this area, or really the number 1 objection I get, is the location.
Yeah.
So for me, it works. Okay, guys, our office is located in Conroe. I stay in my bubble. I kind of sell mostly in the Montgomery County areas. I'm at the office every day. So Willis is one of these areas that's growing exponentially. There's tons of shopping. There's more to come. I can enjoy appreciation in my neighborhood. I was able to get new construction, and I went with a Howard Hughes development community. There's only 2 in all of Houston that are new. And so if you don't know who Howard Hughes is, it's a developer that developed the Woodlands and also right now the Bridgelands. So I wanted the trees. I wanted new, not old. I'm still 20 minutes from the Woodlands. I'm 10, 15 minutes from the office in Conroe. So for me, it worked out really well, and I love it.
Right. For me, I'm actively trying to convince my wife to move. And so for me, the area that I currently right now, 2026, July 2026, would be Artavia. So Conroe. And a myriad of reasons for that, but I think the reason that I would choose Artavia is number one, I just like the drive in and the feel of it. There's also, but I'm also kind of business minded to where I'm thinking of appreciation, because right now in Artavia you can go get some very great priced homes, and the commercial space is coming. And I just know once that commercial space comes, those prices of those homes are just going to explode. And because you kind of have Highlands that's kind of merging with Artavia with commercial. So
that whole area
is
about to pop off.
It's about to pop up. And so right now,
it's a good time to get in.
Yeah, it feels a little insulated, kind of like what people complain about with Woodson, the Wood Forest.
Yeah.
But once that commercial comes and that ease of life comes, where everything is literally right outside the neighborhood, it's definitely gonna pop. So I would choose Artavia. So I would say the north side, and the reason for that, probably for both of us, is you really don't need to leave it, because the Woodlands is kind of our downtown, our hub, and right there, everything's kind of been built off of it.
The only reason for us to ever go to downtown Houston is maybe to go catch an Astros game.
Yeah, sporting event or the rodeo.
Maybe a rodeo.
Or if you're a foodie.
Concert, maybe, medical. There's the largest medical district, although we do have one in the Woodlands. But if you need more of that specialty, if you need access to that.
Right.
But yeah, I also like the north side because of the trees.
Yeah.
So, but to each their own on that. There's no right answer.
Correct.
But that's kind of what we're going to help you do, is dig into those questions to see what area suits you best. All right, Taco.
Yes, sir.
Can I buy a home before I ever visit Houston?
Yes. And believe it or not, it actually happens quite often.
Yeah.
So now you got to be strategic about it, right? Again, kind of what we've talked about, asking the right questions, knowing exactly what the client wants. But then, yes, it is doable, and we're in 2026. There's things like FaceTime. Pictures are pretty clear nowadays. Video walkthroughs. There's multiple ways to do it, and I think it also just goes down to clear communication, right? If we can provide the client with clear communication on what exactly they want, and educating them properly, it very easily actually can be done, and it happens more often than people would probably realize.
Yeah, I think it's all about what you're comfortable with, right? And there are strategies you can employ while you're doing it. For example, maybe coming in during the inspection period, where you have, if you're on a resale home, we have a period of time where you have the unrestricted right to terminate. So we could help tour the home and all the things, and you could get in the house in that time where it's just one flight. And I think situationally it might make sense for some over others. Like maybe you have a job transfer, so you're moving here no matter what.
Correct. So
you have a commute, and so you've really done your research. You've kind of honed in on the areas. Maybe there's only a couple of choices that work for you, and so that kind of makes that process of elimination make more sense. So I think it depends on what you're comfortable with, the situation, how familiar are you with Houston, because it is a tough thing for us to unravel fully through the phone if you've never been here. But with that said, it is possible.
All right, Mark, and then summer 2026, that's what, when we're recording this video. So the question is right now actually a good time to purchase a home in Houston?
I think so. Again, you could be strategic about it and choose areas like Artavia that are developing to get more bang for your buck, or you could go to an area that's already got it all. It's already done. Maybe you pay a little bit more, but it has the great location and all the shopping around it. So really, it all just depends on you. I got to give you the typical realtor response. If it's a good time for you, if your finances are in order, you got the job, you got the cash flow, and you're tired of wasting money renting, you like the idea of relocating from your you want a different life, a different lifestyle, better cost of living, whether it be politics, cost of living, schools, the handful of reasons why people relocate here. Sometimes just merely moving here provides that opportunity because homes are cut in half.
No, correct.
So I would say that's, when it's going to be a good time for you is if you're financially sound and you're ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and right now, again, July 2026, so if you're watching this anytime close to this, we're in a buyer's market.
Yeah.
We have probably 5 or 6 months worth of inventory, which means you have options. And I just got somebody under contract that literally gave me a list of 4 homes that they would be completely happy with. They said, this is what we want for house 1. If they're not going to give it to us, we're going to go to house 2.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the strategy we did. And my clients, as the buyers, got exactly what they wanted because sellers are kind of getting desperate to get rid of their homes.
Yeah, I mean, resale, again, you find the right seller that has the right equity and they're very motivated, you can get yourself a really good deal. And then builders are just throwing out every incentive possible to overcome. So I know there's the common things in this market that you hear on national news of higher rates and all that stuff, but all of that are obstacles we can overcome in this market, whether it be buy downs or new construction giving you these incentives. But at the end of the day, they're easy to get over in this market with the right motivated people.
Right, and then when it comes like to keep saying a deal, are you interest rate conscious? Are you closing cost conscious? Just
Price conscious.
Yeah, we're gonna know exactly how to coach you through that. So, is now a good time to buy for the right person? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so there you have it. 9 of the most common questions that were asked for people that are looking to relocate to the Houston area.
Yeah, so if any of these things interest you, if you're thinking about moving to Houston, please reach out. I mean, this is just a very elementary level, basic and Q&A, but we can go down every rabbit hole, answer every question you want, and even answer your specific questions if we didn't hit it. These are just the most common ones, right, Taco?
100%.
So if you're thinking about moving to Houston, please reach out, click the link below, call that number. Taco and I would love to connect with you, see if Houston's a good fit, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.